Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Star Wars The Clone Wars. Last time on The Clone Wars, we had Gone with a Trace. We went back to follow Ahsoka for a little while, and how she is getting along, living in the, I guess sort of the underbelly of Coruscant, where she crashed her flying scooter and met up with a girl named Trace, and the two of them got talking, and then eventually they met up with Trace's sister, Rafa, and they were working on a job to assemble some droids for this one dude, and then they would use that money to pay off another guy, and unfortunately, the droids that they assembled were demolition droids that caused a bit of a ruckus in Coruscant. But luckily, they were able to stop them, and at the end, Rafa decided to sell them anyway, even though they were pretty dangerous. And yeah, that was pretty much that. Overall, it was a really great episode. I enjoyed having Ahsoka back, and I'm curious to see where we are going in this episode. Yeah, that is pretty much that. Yeah, I guess we ought to head right into this episode of The Clone Wars. Here we go.
I can tell you've worked on starships before. That must have been some academy you went to topside.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Skywalker Academy.
Skywalker. This is me. I did odd jobs, mech work, whatever I could to make some credits, and assembled it piece by piece.
Wow.
All that plus Rafa chipping in. And now I've got myself a starship.
Incredible.
Impressive.
Once the Silver Angel revs up its hyperdrive.
The Silver Angel?
Yeah, why?
I don't know. I just never heard a name like that before.
Well,
Wait, you're saying it's a bad name?
Hey, it's your ship. You call it what you want. Why don't you name my bike while you're at it?
I did. Trash. Its name is Trash.
Very funny.
You mean you need the best pilot around and the fastest ship you know?
Yes, to both of those. Who looks out for you, huh?
You do, Rafa.
so this ship is operational then?
That's right.
I guess.
Remember, we can't count on anyone.
So we count on ourselves. And maybe Ahsoka.
Maybe.
Come on, I want to get going. Go warm the engines up.
And maybe Ahsoka. I would trust Ahsoka. She's got to do the intimidating talk.
So tell me, what are you after?
Nothing.
Mech Bay? Her ship?
I don't have an angle. Unless maybe to keep you both out of trouble.
You ever thought you might be the trouble she needs to stay away from?
Yeah. I'm with Ahsoka. Evidently, it is pretty operational. I thought they were still building it, but alright.
Trace, where are you going?
I'm just trying to get into this lane.
That's a military lane. You can't go there. That's a restricted area.
Yeah, she knows that. Oh, she doesn't want to have to deal with the military.
Don't do anything that makes us look suspicious.
We already look suspicious.
Just
Fly higher!
fly
Stop telling me what to
casually.
do.
Have you lost your mind? This is military airspace.
Yularen.
Civilian transports are not authorized to be in this sector. I'll have your star pilot license for this.
License? Do I need one of those?
Sorry.
What's your license number?
Just get in the transport lane and fly.
Yeah. Yularen. Anakin. Uh-oh. He's reaching out.
Should I send a detachment, General?
No, it's nothing.
Yeah. Now, did he sense Ahsoka?
You still haven't told us where we're going.
I don't know. She might have cut herself off. A little rough.
This is exciting. I've never been to hyperspace before.
What? What have you been flying?
Oh, mainly speeders, you know? Maintenance vehicles, Whatever I could get my hands on.
Do you really know how to fly a
So I tried
starship?
to hire a different pilot.
Ah.
This is flying is more of a dream than a reality.
What did you say?
Ah.
I said the ship flies like a dream.
Tuh.
Yeah, a bad one.
Oh, I missed Ahsoka's sass.
You're taking us to Kessel?
Oh.
Taking us to fortune and glory.
I've heard pilots talk about this place. It's legendary.
We're doing the Kessel run.
Yeah, it's legendary for its corruption. Rafa, what are we doing here?
Picking up medicine.
Who picks up medicine from Kessel? Man, this is crazy. Whoa! That looked like a photorealistic sky. This does not seem like the place that they would be in. Like, what kind of job led us here?
When is the king showing?
He leaves matters like this to me. However, if you show yourself to be dependable, you will have the opportunity to meet His Royal Highness.
Okay.
We won't disappoint.
Upon satisfactory delivery, you will be awarded a full shipment and a contract to transport for us on a continual basis.
Smuggling.
May as well get that contract ready.
Because we've got the fastest ship around.
Alright.
No, Trace.
We're working for a king. Many things can be made out of spice.
We're smuggling spice.
She wouldn't have asked me to do it if she didn't believe I could.
How many times has Rafa done a job like this?
Yeah.
I don't think she ever has.
So how can she possibly know what we're up against?
Hey, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah. You understand why Trace would trust her. But you also agree with Ahsoka because she's brilliant. So I didn't realize you could also go to Kessel for spice running. Figured it was just for the
Coming up on the mining zone.
fuel. I don't remember what it's called. Been a while since I watched Solo.
Now this
Ah.
looks like the Kessel from the stories.
Yeah, from
Spice
Solo.
mining has made the people of Kessel wealthy.
Look at all those droids. The King's spice seals must buy thousands of them.
Trace, those are not droids. They're people.
Yeah. They don't use droid labor on Kessel.
Must be local workers.
I think the term is slaves.
Can't be. An operation this large? The Republic wouldn't stand for it. They'd shut the place down.
Yeah, you'd think they would.
Yeah. Republic probably gets stuff from here.
And Trace and I have a lot of people on Coruscant waiting for money we owe them.
No, you owe them, not her.
Huh.
Sisters take care of each other. We can't pay off debt with your
No
morality.
one is taking my ship.
Think of all the good you could do
Wait.
if we deliver the spice
Is that the
to
self-destruct? Don't do that.
Think of all the good you can do by helping us finish this job.
Said, no one is taking my ship.
Uh-oh. Oh! She dumped all the spice!
But I thought delivering spice to gangsters was a bad thing.
It is, but you have to pay them somehow. Right now, we owe the Pikes.
Then
Yeah.
how is turning the spice into medicine gonna solve anything?
Well, that was more of an ethical debate. I
Tuh.
hadn't figured out how to solve the Pike problem yet. I said I didn't have it figured out yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you do now?
We'll find out.
Improvise. The classic Anakin Ahsoka improvise.
I've got a trick or two that you don't know about.
Care to share?
No. Not yet, at least.
She's totally gonna have to reveal that she's a Jedi. Or was a Jedi, I mean. Oh, I guess she couldn't have cut herself off from the Force. She used the Force in the last episode.
You want to pay us our credits and send us on our way.
Oh.
Here are your credits.
Yeah, they don't quite get
Now
it.
Go on your way.
Huh. Wow. Oh no. There's nothing in there.
Where is the spice? Engage the tractor beam!
You better get us out of here now.
Alright. This is an interesting plan.
They won't be able to keep up.
When they interrogate me, I'm blaming the whole thing on you.
Between the three of us, there's plenty of blame to go around.
Oh, I was afraid of that. As that was happening, I was like, wait a minute. They're gonna cliffhanger this, and sure enough. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, things are not looking too good for our motley crew we have. I mean, it was definitely an interesting plan to have them just like to use the force to trick them and then just get away before they noticed anything. It was a bold plan, and it didn't quite work. Now they have to improvise what they're going to do now. You know, you can kind of understand why Rafa doesn't like Ahsoka, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, you really can't. It's hard to get behind her, you know, because it's like, okay, Ahsoka, yes, is going against her because, you know, she's Ahsoka and she's taking the more moral and ethical, honestly, Jedi approach. You know, whereas Rafa is taking the more, you know, unethical side to it, but because she's trying to do stuff, you know, trying to take care of herself and her sister. But you just can't quite get behind Rafa at all. And maybe that's just because we've had 7 seasons of Ahsoka, you know? Like, we've had Ahsoka for 7 seasons, so we trust her more than we trust Rafa, you know? You just can't quite get behind Rafa. We can go ahead and jump into the notes here. The first thing I wrote down was the job and the Silver Angel. So, okay, now I thought that they hadn't completed, like they were still working on the Silver Angel, but it was operational. They're just, you know, continually working on it, you know, making sure it's better. But it is capable of flight, which is interesting. The name is also interesting, the Silver Angel, you know. Which, I mean, you know, the craft that they had, you know, that Anakin and Ahsoka took in the movie, didn't they call that, like, the Twilight? So, Silver Angel, yeah, it's a little bit more weird, but it's not that much weirder than, like, the Twilight. So, I don't know, the Silver Angel's okay. It's a little on the nose, but it's a little on the nose, especially if you know the story behind it, you know, with Trace. But it works. I wrote down trouble. Yeah, so so Rafa saying, you know, she had to try to give the whole, you know, talk about, you know, I don't trust you and stuff, which doesn't faze Ahsoka in the slightest. That's the great thing about this story, is just Ahsoka's level of confidence throughout the whole thing, you know? I do enjoy that, you know, because she's older, she's been through a lot through the Clone Wars, so, you know, she's a lot more confident in a situation like this than maybe she would have been when she was younger. But, you know, Rafa saying it's like, maybe you're the trouble that Trace needs to stay away from. It's like, well, I mean, technically, I suppose it's because of Ahsoka, yes, things have gotten worse because, you know, she told them about what the Pikes might do to the ship, which caused Trace to dump all the spice, and so, but that's the thing, is they were still in discussions. She wasn't saying we need to dump the spice, it's just we need to do something else with the spice, you know? So that is all tricky. But I don't fully, obviously I don't agree with like, oh, she's the trouble that Ahsoka is the trouble that Trace needs to stay away from. Obviously, we don't agree with that, but that's because we know Ahsoka, But they are sort of getting into trouble because of now. Last episode with everything with the demolition droids, I mean, that was going to happen one way or another, That was going to happen. It's just that Ahsoka was there to make the situation better. This episode, I will say, you can sort of see where Rafa's coming from on this, which is good. I like that you can understand why Rafa thinks the way she does, I wrote down Anakin, so we did get a cameo of Anakin in there. So he reached out in the Force. Did he sense Ahsoka or did he not? Now, at first I was like, okay, well, maybe, has she cut herself off from the Force? But no, because last episode she used the Force. So, and this episode she used the Force too. So, the question is, did Anakin sense her and then just let them go? I think so. I think he did actually sense Ahsoka and then just sort of let her go, And that is, funny that, they're going up in the military lane, and then, it's Yularen on there, and then it cuts to where Yularen is, and Anakin is there too, and it's like, oh, geez, this is not good. But yeah, I think Anakin did sense her, because she hasn't cut herself off from the Force. And I don't remember if, like, in the Ahsoka novel, if she did cut herself off from the Force at one point. Maybe I'm just, like, putting that on her because of, everything with Luke and The Last Jedi and stuff. Because he did cut himself off from the Force. So, I don't know. I wrote down Kessel. So we did go to Kessel, and we got spice smuggling, which is interesting. So, we've heard about this before, the spice smuggling, which, we've heard a lot about that, and, Han Solo was a notorious, I suppose, but he was a spice smuggler, he smuggled spice. And, I guess, I don't know, like, maybe it's just because I haven't seen anything that mentions the spice, and so you guys can tell me in the comments or something, but I don't know if we've ever gotten a full explanation of the spice, Like, at the very least, and I'm talking about, maybe they said it in Clone Wars, but I don't remember, maybe they said it in Rebels, but I don't remember, but in the movies, I don't think they ever really mentioned what spice is for. They just said, well, he's a spice smuggler, So I didn't know that Kessel also provided spice. It had mines in the spice, because the last time we saw Kessel was in Solo, and there they were just talking about the what was the fuel called? I don't remember. Was it coaxium, or is that something else? I don't remember, but there was something. Whatever the sort of the fuel was, and they went and got the unrefined fuel from Kessel, made the Kessel run in the 12 parsecs, and then got it back, at the end of the movie in order to refine it. So that it was cool. We didn't really get a Kessel run, but the spice wasn't, in such dire need of, being refined like the fuel. I don't remember what it's called, and it's driving me crazy, But yeah, so we did learn that there are spice mines on Kessel. Again, I don't know, maybe they said that in a book, or maybe that was a previous episode of Clone Wars, but I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've really watched these episodes. So again, you guys can tell me in the comments. But I do like, just learning that. It's like, okay, this is what spice smuggling is. And, they say it's like, okay, well, spice can be used for various different things, including medicine, and certain types of medicine, some being good, some being bad. And it turns out that what they're going to be doing, what the Pike Syndicate is going to be doing is, making bad medicine, basically. Or they're going to be using it for nefarious purposes, I suppose, is what Ahsoka learned, basically. So that was pretty cool, actually, learning more about, spice smuggling, which we always heard about with Han Solo. So I did like that. I wrote down slaves. They did mention that there were slaves on Kessel. And, them saying like, oh, well, they can't be slaves. Otherwise, the Republic, the Republic wouldn't stand for that. And then Ahsoka being like, you would think so, wouldn't you? So even Ahsoka has to admit, some of the failings of the Republic. So I wrote down dumped and improvise. So yeah, when Trace learned what could happen to her ship, at first I thought she was going to hit the self-destruct, countdown or something. But she dumped all the spice, basically, which is crazy. So there's just a ton of spice throughout, a section of the galaxy, which is funny. But yeah, so I like even Ahsoka, like they were both agreeing. Ahsoka and Rafa were agreeing, like, no, you shouldn't have done that, And it's like, I thought you were saying that we could, sell it to someone else. And Ahsoka being like, well, I mean, that's the ethical, side of the argument. I haven't figured it out yet, All she knew at that point was, don't sell it to the Pikes. So then they had to improvise. Which, how that plan sounded, I have no idea. I guess what she said was, well, we'll go down there, they'll give us the money, then we'll leave. We'll give it to them, leave quickly, and then they'll discover they don't have spice, and then, we'll hightail it out of here. That must have been the plan they said, the plan that Ahsoka said, and that's why they were both like, that is not going to work. It's a horrible plan. And, it's like, oh, well, she has a few tricks that maybe she'll tell them some other time. And the trick was the Jedi mind trick, which was pretty cool. And then, even still, like, even with the trick that they didn't know about, the Jedi mind trick, it didn't work, and they got caught in the tractor beam, which is where we're ending the episode. So, like a typical Anakin Ahsoka plan, it was a horrible plan to begin with, could possibly have worked, didn't work, but they're going to make it work somehow. Because now they basically have to improvise what to do next. So yeah, that's it. It's all cool. I'm enjoying it. I'm very curious to see what they're going to be doing next episode. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I don't really have anything else written down. Great episode. I'm really enjoying this arc. Like I said, it was great to have the clones and Anakin in the Bad Batch arc. But now it's like, okay, let's get back to Ahsoka. Let's step away from the war for a little bit, So I'm enjoying that. And yeah, that is pretty much that. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Clone Wars reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.